Hello, St. Paul's. This week I'm talking with Jen Zhao, the coordinator of our outreach ministries. The outreach area involves several activities, including showers of blessings. You've probably heard about the possibility of us constructing an outreach centre underneath the chapel as part of a capital project. I'm going to focus more narrowly on that in a future letter. But today, I wanted to offer you a broad survey of our outreach ministries, and so that's why I invited Jen along. So, Jen, please tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jennifer Zhao, and I've attended St. Paul's since 2007. Currently, right now, I serve as the outreach chair, but I also serve on other multiple ministries and committees throughout the cathedral. The focus, as Penny has said, is we're going to be discussing my role as the outreach chair and how we serve our neighbors.
So what does outreach ministry mean to you?
For me, outreach ministry means that serving any population or any demographics with services and resources that they might not ever get from anywhere else. It's also filling in the gap that some of the services that they get from our mainstream places, and we need to make sure that we are there to help provide that service to them, because not everybody knows where to go and how to find resources. So that's what it means to me. And it also means that we might have to identify some of those people that are underserved, because such as the homeless, such as the seniors, such as veterans, children, and maybe even their pets, their animals. Also, there's a couple other things that outreach ministry means to me too, is understanding the people that you are serving and listening, providing them a space for grace to those that may be facing personal difficulties, because that's really important. A lot of the people that we serve at the cathedral are mostly homeless.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that outreach ministry feeds your spiritual life?
It does. It does feed my spiritual life, because I do work a lot with the homeless people, but I also work with seniors, and the seniors who don't have an advocate, somebody that they need, somebody to help them with stuff like understanding Medi-Cal, Medicare, because they're so scared about losing their Social Security. And for me, I like helping them because I don't like the fact that the government people take advantage of them because they feel scared that they're going to lose their money, and they don't really hear well. They don't understand what's going on. I barely understand what's going on, so if I can't understand, I don't know how they can, but that really serves my spirit.
Mm-hmm. What role would you say outreach plays in the mission of the church?
I believe that the outreach plays, it helps people, it helps our community to make the people that are outside of our church know who God is. And it sounds probably like the E word that people don't like to use, which is evangelism, but it really is too, because outreach isn't just about helping people and being there and helping them by just their needs, but it's also about sharing who God is and helping them understand, the unchurched, who is God and how can they be blessed by having God in their life and Jesus in their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really critical to the health of a church that it looks outside of itself and serves the community around it. And sometimes people have asked me, why should we help these people if they don't deserve our help? And my answer is, we help them because of who we are, because Jesus told us to, and not because of anything anybody deserves.
Right.
It's about who we are and not about who they are.
That's right.
Do you have a favorite scripture story that you think is especially relevant to outreach?
Well, I think the parable of the Good Samaritan is a good one. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows that, that this one traveler is going down the road and he was beaten and robbed and left on the road for dead. And then I think a priest and some other church people walked by and they just kind of looked at him and just said, oh, we're not going to help him. We avoided him. And then I guess back in those days, the Samaritans and the Jews despised each other. But there was this one Samaritan that I want to say drive by. They didn't drive by, but they walked by and they looked at the man and he helped them.
Mm-hmm. And that was really unexpected, wasn't it? Because
it was.
They were on different sides of the tracks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that to me sends a good feeling. I'm sure the Samaritan had a great feeling. He was helping somebody else regardless of who he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and without expectation of reward.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he didn't even have to stop.
Right.
Other church people didn't even stop.
So let's think about outreach at St. Paul's. Tell us a little bit about the outreach committee. Who constitutes the committee?
They are outreach leaders, outreach ministry leaders, such as we have Simpler Living, we have Showers of Blessings. So every one of these ministries, we have a leader that attends the committee. We have also, Fair Trade. We have Episcopal Relief Development. We have Refugee Net. So we have what we call a liaison person that works with that particular group. Like in Showers of Blessings, we have Claudia Dixon, and she's like our liaison with the homeless people that come in, our homeless guests.
Mm. And do we have someone from God's Extended Hand?
Oh yeah, we have someone from God's. Yeah, there's a bunch of ministries. We have Downtown Fellowship. We have Episcopal Community Services. We have FOMOS, which is the Friends of the Military Outreach Services. I can go on and on. And then
yeah. Feel free. This is your time.
This is my time. Well, but the main ones that come are about 6-7 people that come to the committee. And Peace and Justice too. Forgot about them. So.
And the committee meets regularly?
Yeah, we meet once a month, and we met all during last year. Even though we were virtual, we still met. Because I felt that it was important, and so did the rest of the committee leaders, that we stayed together through this time. And also, even though we couldn't help some people, maybe there were things we can do from the internet, such as like the Safe Haven, ECS Safe Haven, which is about a block away. They were sheltered in place, but the people there couldn't go out and get refreshments. They wanted some junk food. And so what we did was work with ECS and aligned a page in the Amazon, so that people who wanted to donate, and they didn't have to go anywhere, and since we couldn't go anywhere, and they could just order stuff online and have it delivered there.
Oh, that's awesome. So we have a junk food ministry. I didn't even know. It's one of the things that I love about our outreach ministries is that it's grassroots led. It's completely lay led, and it's led by people who are passionate about their ministries. And I love this, the broad scope of our outreach activities. We've mentioned God's Extended Hand, which it's an evangelical ministry that we participate in, or ECS, which is an Episcopal organization, or I don't know if Vitahoven is still a part of our outreach group, or if they're kind of out on their own now.
No, they're out on their own. And then sometimes we also get Pat Prater, who comes from St. Paul's senior homes, So we talk about the elderly people, and then then from the Friends of the Military, we work sometimes with the Veterans Village.
So all kinds of populations, and and what I'm hearing is there's mix of hands-on volunteering and donations. I know you've done regular donation drives of stuff and of money. Is that right?
And yes, that's correct. So sometimes it depends on the organization that we are. It's what we call a monthly ask when we were in person, but we haven't done too many monthly asks because you have to show up to church and put it in the yellow bin. So, and plus we weren't really meeting in person, but we still, pre-COVID, what we would do is like the whole month, if we wanted to collect for the Friends of Military that are down at Balboa Hospital, we would say for the whole month, we would collect anything non-perishable, put it in the yellow bin, bring whatever, that you can, and then also paper products. And then we would collect it all. And then the people who are in charge of FOMOS, we would go over there and deliver the stuff to them. And then they were just, and it was called Fisher House, and they were just like Fisher House. And sometimes we would provide dinners, like pizza.
And that's a place where the family members of people who are patients in the hospital can stay, right? It's like the Ronald McDonald House.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So it's looking after the people who are looking after the people sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah, because
then the families, they can stay right there on site next to their loved one. Just go across the street to the hospital visit. I'm sure they stay there for a long period of time, and then they go back to the Fisher House where they spend the night, but they can cook a meal. They can, if they want to eat, and it's not just top ramen and stuff. It's really good food that they have for them. So, and somebody provides, I think every night, a pizza or sandwiches. So an organization so it's just like Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, I mean, our outreach has always been an important part of the life of St. Paul's, I think. And we see that in, there are a couple of funds, invested funds, that the proceeds, the income from those funds is directed to outreach. And so we use that for the donations sometimes from the church itself. And then the more recent big change in outreach ministry, or big expansion, was with Showers of Blessings. And that started, what, 5 years ago now, maybe 6?
I think it was probably 6 years. I think it's about 6 years ago. I mean, I was there when it first started, and it was just I think it was 6 years ago.
I remember
they didn't even know what to do.
Yeah, a couple came to me and they thought I was going to say no, and they said, we want to do something for the unsheltered people in the park, and we know we can borrow this trailer with showers, and would you allow us to do this in the courtyard? And so it got started with several incredibly committed people, and then it grew. And it became, the Methodists joined in and started providing breakfast, and then there were hairdressers who came and gave haircuts, and sometimes there were 100 people on a Saturday morning in our courtyard. And
we start early too.
Yeah,
we start, well, at one time I remember we were getting there at 5:30 in the morning. But
wow. Yeah, to set up.
But people were already standing in line because we were only allowed to give like 35 showers. And so, people who really wanted a shower got there early and got the number. So, but before haircuts and all that, it was just showers and just some basic, one of us volunteers would bring in like bagels or donuts. So it has really grown now. I mean, now we have like 45 volunteers now.
Yeah. And it's what I've loved about it, and this is all, of course, before the pandemic, but it's going to the Showers of Blessings morning and seeing people just having conversations over a cup of coffee, parishioners chatting with our guests, and the guests relaxing and smiling and realizing that they're being treated with dignity, and being able to leave their stuff, their cart or whatever, in a corner of the courtyard where it was safe for a couple of hours, and giving that dignity to people, and that fellowship was so important. And it was very hard that we had to stop for the pandemic, and then we started the construction, and now we no longer control the 6th Avenue courtyard, and so we no longer have that space to do what we used to do. And that's one of the reasons we're looking at building showers in the Undercroft under the chapel, so that we can get back to Showers of Blessings and do it properly, do it well, and do it in a permanent way.
Well, and the thing is, it's probably, I would say it's more of and I would say this for probably most of the volunteers in any of these ministries, especially with the Showers of Blessings, it's more of a gift for us than us giving them a gift. Because, like you said, we're providing them dignity and stuff, but we also show them that there is just love and care for them too.
It expands our hearts when we do that.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So do you, as we come towards the end of our time, is there a favorite story you have about someone who's been a part of our outreach ministries?
Sure. I remember this about a couple of years ago, and I remember it being like summertime, but there was this one gentleman that came all the time, came every month, didn't really take a shower. He just came and ate and just wanted to chat, right? And so I remember a parishioner would go and sit next to him, and then they would chat, and then he would go, and he still continued coming every month. And then one day, and this is via parishioner telling me, she told me that he asked her for help. So I guess there must have been some trust built, right? So, and he felt comfortable to talk to her and said, hey, I need my birth certificate and ID, and I don't know how to get it. And I need that because, and he explained, he needed it because he wasn't getting any of the support or any medical help or anything from the government and from Medicare, anyone, because he didn't have an ID and he didn't have his birth certificate. So he was wandering. So she helped him with that and found a way to get him his birth certificate. I believe she told me he lived in Texas, so trying to find how to get a birth certificate from Texas was interesting, but she was able to do that. And then after they got the birth certificate, she connected back with him, and then they went and filed for a ID at the DMV. So this is obviously pre-pandemic. So he finally got his driver's license. I mean, not driver's, he's got his ID. And then he was able to go to, I believe she told me, UCSD or somewhere, to go talk to a social worker and try to get Medicare and Medi-Cal. And he was just so ecstatic that somebody just stopped and cared.
And it changed his life in a way.
It changed his life. And so that was just the beginning for him. So he started getting that. And then he also ended up finding a place to live off the street.
Yeah.
So, and then and the parishioner was totally so excited, and it wasn't for any reason, but seeing a smile on his face and just showing him that somebody cared.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Well, before we end, is there anything you'd like to add about our outreach ministries?
I'm just very grateful for the people that show up and continue to show up. You know, sometimes it's hard to show up every month for a meeting, but I'm glad that we do. And we also get a chance to collaborate with one another and what we can do together, synergize ourselves. And we're all trying to do the same thing, but in different avenues and different ministries. But the coolest part is that we take the time to communicate and collaborate and what we can do more together than being siloed.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And everybody is invited to participate. There's something for everyone to do. You don't need any special knowledge or qualifications to participate in our outreach ministries.
No, and you know what? Anybody can come to our meetings, just like we have for chapter. Anybody can come to our meetings. It's on the third Tuesday from 4:30 until 6 o'clock. So I have it published from on the bulletin. And, we always are looking for more people to volunteer, or if they want to know more about a ministry, we'd be more than happy to tell them what they can do if they want to, or they just want to see what goes on at a Showers of Blessings.
Awesome. Well, I am so grateful to you, Jen, for your leadership, and to all of our dedicated lay ministers for the work that everyone does to serve our neighbors. As we return to in-person activities, I'm filled with hope for our future efforts, and I'm really looking forward to new opportunities for us all to learn and grow through service. So Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for the time.
And to our cathedral community, see you on Sunday.